welcome to the Main Basketball Rankings podcast. I'm your host, basketball data nerd Lucas McNelly. Week 4 is here. Jay Baines is going to be here in a little bit to help me overreact to the games of Week 4 and do the whole thing with going forward. We had some technical difficulties on this, so if it gets a little choppy in a couple places, Jay's internet failed and then my internet failed, and it was just a great time overall. I went to the for this week in football, I went to the Levitt at Madomic Valley game because I wanted to see Levitt again, and it was Madomic Valley's homecoming, and so the kids wanted to go to that and everything. And I mentioned it. I'll just tell a quick story about my kid. He's 8. He doesn't care about sports at all, and but he likes to go to the games, and he likes to make videos before the game with me. So he did the video preview, and I asked him who he thought it was going to win. He's like, I think Madomic by 15. And then I was like, well, that's not what you were saying when Coach Hathaway was over here a few minutes ago, and his face went white. He's like, oh my gosh. And then later after the game, he asked if the other team had a superpower, because Levitt won 50-6. And I told that to Michael Hathaway, and he's like, yeah, tell him it's working hard. And he was not impressed because he's a kid. But yeah, so Levitt looks really good, and Madomic had Jaden Ruiz back, and it didn't matter. Levitt scored on every single possession where they had that they got, except for one at the very end of the half. And I only am mentioning this because you always hear like, oh, don't take chances with the ball, blah, 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 blah. And this was a situation where it almost blew up in Levitt's face a little bit. So Madomic punts at the end of the half, and the punt goes down to like the 1 or something. 2 is far away. And there's 2.4 seconds left in the half. And so you think maybe just take a knee, but Levitt doesn't take a knee because, talking to Hathaway later, they didn't have enough room to take a knee. So they just throw it deep. What could go wrong? And this is what went wrong. Let's roll the clip. And that's why they say to take a knee. Dostie, that's Owen Dostie. He's a basketball player. He got down to within the 1 yard line before they pulled him down. So very nearly was very costly. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. It was 50-6 was the final score. But that's the situation where you always say, well, you should take a knee. Don't take any dumb chances at the end of the half, because that's what could happen. So kids, take a knee. Yeah, so we're gonna get to the show in a minute. First off, if you are watching this, subscribe on YouTube or on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this or watching this. Make sure you subscribe, leave a nice comment. That's cool too. And then I just want to talk for a second about Dexter. If you haven't heard, Dexter is in this T-Mobile 5G promotional thing. I forget what it's called. But Gronk is the spokesman, and they're one of 25 finalists for this thing. They've already earned $25,000. I think it's $25,000 in a grant from T-Mobile. But if they win, they get $1 million to upgrade their field and their facilities and do whatever it is you can do with $1 million for a football facility. And it's a voting thing. So you got to go vote. Put the link in the show notes. You can vote once a day, vote every day. Everyone in Maine should band together. It's the only Maine team that made the final 25. So everybody in Maine, band together, help out Dexter, because it's very cool, and they could very much use, as you might imagine, $1 million for a new facility. And with that, let's go to my conversation with Jay Baines. My guest today is my mother's favorite guest of this podcast, Jay Baines. How's it going?
I don't know why. I mean, your mother's a lovely person. She needs higher standards. That's an extremely low bar.
She does need higher standards.
I would take great offense as her son that you said that. Or she said that. That's
well, yeah, This is the second time we're doing this because we've had some tech issues. But
Yes.
she she met you at the expo and was so very excited. I've never seen her so excited to meet someone in my entire life.
Well, well, then again, I don't know why she was. Was that after the Oceanside girls lost? I mean, wasn't
It
she
was
so excited about that?
before the game, I think.
Okay,
So there was still
so
hope.
yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
So
no,
you're okay. And then I'm supposed to ask you. We've done this twice. This is real choppy now. Have you yet survived your monsoon on Thursday?
no, no, no. It rained like 2 inches in like an hour and a half. We tried to play, and we got 57 seconds into the second half. Ball comes across. We're at Mahaney Diamond. This is Baptist MDI boys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it just opened up over halftime. You could see the standing water coming around. Beginning of the half, we told the kids, we got the captains, and like, listen, if you hear a hard whistle, okay, we're gonna send you back to the benches. We're gonna have a conversation to figure this one out. Let the coaches know. We didn't even get a minute in. Ball kind of comes a counter coming out, but it's in the area where second base is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a huge new patch of turf. Well, I should say newer patch of turf there because it's a sliding pit, which sits about an inch higher than everything else. The problem is that puts 2 or 3 inches of water. The ball just skimmed, stopped. The kid kind of tripped over the seam, and I just blew the whistle. And I'm just like, go back to your benches. I bring my partner in. I'm just like, oh, we got to make a decision here because this is not good.
When
And
if you call a game, then is it official? How long? How much of the game do you have to play in soccer?
so, according to NFHS and the MP, it's in the bulletin as well. If you play a
Mm-hmm.
half, it's
Oh,
considered
okay.
an official game.
Okay.
Um, I don't think anybody was pleased that it was going to end that way. It was a great match. I mean, those are two quality programs. I
Yeah.
think the boys were disappointed. Actually, the coaches brought all the players into one huddle to explain the situation, and they were really really great about it. Still getting drenched, but there's just no way that we could have safely
Yeah.
played on that.
Yeah.
Ironically, that was the last soccer game ever on that field
Oh.
because the
Well,
new
look
one
at that.
opens yesterday. So
Oh. Well, look at that. So it went out in style. I
I
guess.
guess
I
maybe
guess. Yeah. All right.
so.
So you're here. We're gonna overreact to week 4 of the football season. But before
Yep.
we do that, do you want to tell? You had a cool summer. I haven't talked to you. I don't think since summer. Where you like went on a road trip, right? Went to a bunch of ballparks.
Yeah, it was more like long weekends type
Okay.
thing. You get to Fenway once, twice a year anyway, so that's nothing special. But the Sox were in DC for the fourth. We have family down there, so we got to go down there. I wanted to go, back to Chicago. So and it's so easy to fly out of Bangor. So I went out
Oh, okay.
there, did the classic Friday 120 in the bleachers. Unbelievable. You don't have to know a soul. Everyone's your friend. It's honestly, unlike other places, one of the friendliest cities. I mean, it might be my favorite city, but just
It's
everyone's
a
just
cool
super
city.
friendly out there.
Yeah.
Um, and then we went out to Dad and I always wanted to go out to LA and to do that a little bit. Did go to the Price is Right. Was not picked. Not
Oh,
happy about that. But while we're out there, we hit up Chavez Ravine, and the Sox were in San Diego that weekend too. And my regret of that trip was um, not spending more time in San Diego because
I've
that,
never been to San Diego.
yeah,
I've been to
unreal.
LA a bunch, but I've never been to San
Yep.
Diego.
So
Cool.
there's that. I'm working to see if I can pull a down and back Wednesday to the Bronx.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
The
the playoffs.
Delta flights. There's might have some Delta credit laying around, and if the flights work out, it's a 6 o'clock first pitch, so it might be a little tight, but I got nothing. As if
Yeah.
I don't have enough to do. Hey, let's just go to New York. Why not?
Yeah, sure, why
Game
not?
two.
Well, all right, so let's start overreacting. Where do you want to start? Do you have something that jumped out at you? You said you've done no prep, which is ideal for podcasting.
I mean, let's just go through. I mean, start from the top, right?
All right.
Start with A.
Yeah, let's start with A. So the big score that surprised me there was the Bonny Eagle Noble score. 8 because I thought Bonny Eagle's good. I knew they were good, but 18-0 over Noble. They're now they've given up 3 points a game this year. Bonny Eagle has.
Wow.
And you
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
haven't
it's a
seen
look.
the rankings. The new rankings are out. They bumped up to number 1.
Okay. How much does obviously points against as a big part of that, I would assume.
Right. Yeah, I
But
think they're first in points allowed.
yeah, I mean, if you're letting up 3 points a game and all you have to do is get in the end zone once, I think you're putting yourself up for success there.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
good system.
so
Yeah, they
I
are,
mean,
yes, first in points allowed. But they're
yeah.
also
So I'm
scoring
reading.
33 a game.
Yeah. So I'm reading the Press Herald article now. I mean,
Okay.
looks like a lot of, let's see, 70 yards first drive of the game. I mean, you see a score like that and like they're just chewing clock and running the football, but it doesn't look that way. I mean,
Yeah,
just
and Noble's been had a pretty good year so far.
yeah, they just moved back to A. Is that right? It's
I
South
think
of
you're
A.
thinking of basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So then
So,
other things in A, Deering wins 22-21 over Lawrence.
hmm
Marshwood wins 23-22 over Chevrolet, and Portland beat up on Bangor 42-26. Those were some of the ones that I had circled. I should really cluster these by class. That would probably make this easier. But yeah, those were the ones that stood out to me in A this week. Oh, and then the other one, the Oxford Hills Cony game looked like it was an absolute classic.
I heard about that. I mean, that was what Oxford Hill's homecoming
Yeah, I
yesterday
think
or
so. It was on
something.
Saturday. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they kind of do that big out there.
Cony had a big
Um,
lead, if I'm remembering correctly, from the tweets that I saw Joe Bailey post. Cony had
yep.
I think they were up 21-0. Then Oxford Hills came back, and then Cony rallied to win it. And I think Parker Morin had 5 touchdowns in that game, or he was responsible for 5. Maybe he had 6. I looked it up last night, and then
Hold
but it
on.
was 5 or
Just click.
6.
Let's see, Mike Mandel, the gamer. Shout out Mike, always.
He gets good ones.
Yeah, 16 for 28, 253 passing yards, 3 TDs.
Three
Oh, and
TDs. Oh,
4 carries for 19 yards for another 2 touchdowns. So he had all
right.
5.
Okay.
That's a good day.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah. Is he
Um,
a senior now?
he's a senior, 3-sport athlete.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, very good basketball
Wow.
player, very good baseball player.
Yep.
I think he's got to be in the Fitzy conversation, although I feel like Cordell Jones probably is Fitzy.
Yeah, I mean he had a day against Bangor. Um, 3 scores? So
And he was I think the Gatorade player of the year last year, right?
yeah.
It's hard to not
Yes,
win
he was.
Fitzy. It's hard to not win Fitzy or Mr. Basketball if you're the Gatorade player of the year in
The
your
year before,
non-senior
yeah.
season. It just
Yeah,
seemed like
another Fitzy candidate, at least in our area, Kyle Johnson, Bengals quarterback. I saw him week 1, and they kind of handled Deering. I think it was 21
mhm.
nothing or something like that. Um, and I think he's only been playing quarterback, 2.5 years. I think he's a
Wow.
converted, might be a converted fullback or something like that. But he finally has a quarterback number now because I think he was wearing 20 or maybe like 40 or something you wouldn't see in the pocket typically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
Bangor's what 2-2 now. I mean, the losses to a TA team who again a
Yep.
perennial and a Portland team that's a perennial. I mean, I don't know who they have next. I want to say they're probably home. Um, as I open more tabs,
Yeah, this is what
but
I'm doing too, is
you look
opening
at a
tabs.
2-2. They have a 9-game schedule in A, right?
They do have 9 games. So they're at Lewiston, then Wyndham, and then some New Hampshire team, and then they finish at Edward Little and at Oxford Hills.
Wow. Yeah,
So
so 2 on the road. How do they end up at Lewiston, and how do they end up at all 3 of those? That's
yeah, that's
Lewiston,
strange.
EL, and Oxford. Okay, so
And then they get the New Hampshire team at home.
yeah, I mean it's Bangor. They're going to travel, period. But you
Right.
know, kind of
Yeah, that's
unfortunate,
the
especially you would think I know there's so many factors that go into it, but you know, I I don't think anybody should be home the last two games or away the last two games. I mean, if we can,
Right.
just a little more equitable, but it
Should
is
be able
what
to
it
split
is.
that
I
up.
mean, they'll be fine. 2-2. You know, I mean, they won their last game of the season last year over Oxford Hills, I guess, to make the field, and then they upset whoever it was in that first. It might have been Wyndham or whoever the one was last year because
Maybe.
they lost to
So,
Portland in the regional final.
so only 4 teams get in here, and so
Yeah,
Portland I think is a lock, and then you've got Bangor, Deering, and Oxford Hills are all 2-2, and then you've got Edward Little and Wyndham at 1-3. Unless I don't know if Edward Little or Wyndham can make some noise and sneak into that,
yeah.
that could get interesting. Who do they finish with?
When
Edward,
does
yeah,
when does Thornton play Bonny Eagle? That's the big one.
that'll be a big one. Is that this week? No, but this week
Uh,
is Bonny Eagle at Oxford Hills.
okay,
That will be a
yeah,
big one. So I was going to ask you, how many football games do you get to? Because you are
once a
reffing
week.
soccer. You get once a week?
Yeah.
All right. Because you're reffing soccer. So, I mean, that, can make things tricky.
Well, I mean, but four of those eight. I mean, half the time I'm home with Old Town
That's true.
because I got football with the band
That's
Friday
true.
night.
Yeah. Yeah. And you didn't, I
So
thought you might come to the Old Town Madomic game in Waldeboro.
no, you know where I was that day? Umpy.
Ah.
Yep.
Okay. So Thornton Academy, second to last game of the year is at Bonny Eagle.
Okay.
So
So
that'll
week
be
8.
that'll be a really good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I mean,
24th.
you look at it. I mean, these 2-2 records. I mean, probably you would think 5 wins is a lock. 5-4.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Considering what?
Especially if Lewiston doesn't win anything.
Yeah, and then I mean, Edward Little sitting there at 1-3 as well. So Wyndham, I know Wyndham's. Are they down or is it just
Wyndham
a schedule
is
thing?
tricky. So they lost their first 2 games of the season and they were both really close.
Yep.
And so they lost at Noble 10-6 and then lost to Portland 28-21 and they were in both of those games. And
Yep.
then they got absolutely smoked by Bonny Eagle, but going into that game that was a lot of people's like, okay, this is a really good 0-2 team. They're way better than their record. And everyone thought that was going to be a pretty good game and Bonny Eagle just absolutely destroyed them. So
Yep.
that was kind of maybe the first flag in maybe Bonny Eagle's really, really good,
Hmm.
which is seems to be proving out.
Right.
And yeah, they're up to first in the power rankings, which was a surprise to me. I didn't think they would get there yet.
Yep.
But if you look at it, they beat South Portland 48-6, Sanford 26-6, then Wyndham 43-0, Noble 18-0. That's pretty impressive. And then they have
Yeah.
Oxford Hills at Portland the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm going to guess they're going to give up more than 3 points a game in those games.
You would think.
But
Um,
I would have thought Noble would have scored more.
yeah, it's a noble team that going into that was scoring. I just had it. What
They were
scored
scoring at
50
a
points.
decent clip. Week 1, they didn't score very much.
Well, I mean, what? They're 3-1. They've scored 50 points against 52 points against.
Yeah, so
Yeah, wow.
very happy to be 3-1 if your point differential is that.
I guess. But these one possession games, we're looking at least like 14-13, 14-12 type things,
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, they had a 17-14 game, a 23-14 game, and then they lost 18-0.
I just like the 9. I mean, I like the 9-game schedule.
It's nice.
I know it's an odd number, but you reduce the field, and for at least that way, I mean, everyone's playing week 9.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be more inclusive, if that's the
Yeah.
ideal.
Yeah.
If everyone's playing week 9, it's better than potentially a bye. Or
Yeah, you definitely don't want to buy in the last week of the season.
Yeah. So
all right, so what do you think? Let's overreact. Who do you think is coming out of there? What's your state game?
I mean, I think you go Portland TA until otherwise.
Okay.
For me to take Bonny Eagle, they have to beat Thornton. I
Right.
mean, until that point, I mean,
Like in the regular season, you're saying?
yes,
Okay.
knock them from the pedestal, then we can talk. So
Because the TA loss is to the New Hampshire team.
right, and
So there's
that
that.
was probably set up. Well, was it a Pinkerton or something? You know, just an absolute power. Or let me find this. Hold on,
It
TA.
was Bedford.
Okay, so
Yeah, so maybe. I don't know. I just don't know how good
I mean, yeah,
the New Hampshire teams are.
yeah. But I assume those are set up more of a you know tiered way
Mm-hmm.
than anything
Yeah.
else. So
All right, let's move on to B. Class
hmm
B, I think Cony not coming back, but Cony holding on to beat Oxford Hills has to be big. They were a huge underdog in that, according to the model.
okay.
I think it was
Well,
a
they're
21
scoring.
point spread,
Wow.
something like that.
Oh, I mean, so looking at this, they've scored 193 points in 4 games this year. They've only let up 52,
Mm-hmm.
and 31 of those, no, 29. What was the final? Doesn't matter.
39 to 34.
Okay, so you know, yeah, 18 points the first 3 weeks, and then a little bit of a shootout yesterday against Oxford Hills. I mean, yeah, I mean, granted, I don't. One, I'm always surprised to see Freiburg and B North,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, sure.
yeah, it's okay.
So if you want to play devil's
Uh,
advocate, they're 51st in strength of schedule in the state.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
that's
that
if you want to poke holes in Coney. 4-0,
hmm
but not the strongest schedule. Mesalonsky's 1-3. They beat them. They beat Brunswick. Brunswick's 0-4. They beat Mount Blue. Mount Blue is 1-3, and then Oxford Hills. So that was their
so they
first
have
game against a winning team.
okay, and that strength of schedule is games played, not the whole schedule,
Right.
right?
That's games played. They're
Okay,
25th in remaining schedule
yeah.
for strength of
Well, they
schedule.
have they
So
host Freiburg on Friday,
mm-hmm,
so I think we'll have all the answers by Friday night.
we'll know quite a bit Friday night.
Yeah.
So Rob Kennedy asked a question on Facebook, and
hmm
I'll bring it up here. I don't know if you saw it. Could Coney and Gardner be 7-0 each when they play on the 24th of October?
Gardner's good.
Gardner's
I
good. I
saw
saw
them.
Gardner.
Yeah, I saw Gardner too, week 2. Yeah, because Old Town went. They scored on that opening drive, and then it was just ground and pound. Tiger
Mm-hmm.
football. Old
Yeah,
school PTC football. That's all it was. So that ended up, I think, 21-6.
something like
So,
that. Yeah,
but man, I mean, we'll get to Gardner when we get to C. But is that week 8? Yeah, you said it was
that's
seven and
week
zero.
8. Yeah, that's the last week
Yeah,
of the season. That would be a huge
yeah,
week 8 game.
that'd be awesome.
I mean, that's going to be a big game no matter what, just because they hate each other so much.
Right. Yeah.
But if
And
they're
the schools,
both
I mean,
seven
they're
and
in
zero,
different classes. I mean, Coney actually should be C by enrollment. I think they do play up technically, them and
they might.
Lawrence. So,
That wouldn't surprise me.
um, but I mean, the school's what 8-9 miles apart, and they're basically the
Mm-hmm.
same size school anyway. So, I mean, I would like to see it. I mean, that's no disrespect to the rest of the schools on the remaining schedules, but you
Right.
know, I think it's good for the game, and good for football in that era because I bet it's been a long time since that game's meant something to that magnitude.
Right.
Because there's a
I'm
long
pretty sure it
time.
is.
I mean, even like let's go 90s. The Wolfgram
Mm-hmm.
days, or I don't know if it was Wolfgram was there at that point or still there or whatnot. No, he was at Southport at that point. But even through the no, it was Rob Munzing's teams in the 90s. You know, he made a couple or at least one state game, but I don't think Coney was the perennial
Right.
during that time either. So
I somehow am
yeah.
missing a Freiburg game. That's weird. Okay, that's something. Let me write myself a note.
So who's Freiburg? So they're 4-0,
They're 4-0.
and week 1 beat Skowhegan, then beat Mount Blue 15-0. They beat Laconia.
Laconia, I think that's the one I'm missing. I
Yeah,
don't know how I managed to miss that.
yep. At
I wonder if
home.
that was a
Oh,
late change because I just pulled the schedules from Andrew Hart's website at the beginning of the
right.
year. So I wonder if that was a late ad.
Or it didn't import because it's a New Hampshire team, and things got
No, the rest of the New Hampshire team's imported.
okay.
So
Interesting.
that's
But
strange.
yeah, so I mean, you have so they have Freiburg goes to Cony Friday. Then they host Lawrence, and I believe Lawrence is what 2-2, 2-2, one
Maybe
and three.
one and
Yeah,
three. Okay.
1-3 with they just lost to Deering Friday. Um, and as I try to find the right tab again, yeah, and then they finish out. Uh, they go to Falmouth week 7. There's the
That'll be
second
nice.
test, and then um, finish out with Brunswick. So um, you would think at least within B North. I mean, it's probably the game of the year. You
Right.
know,
I would think so. I mean,
right
it
there,
seems
Friday
like
night.
they're gonna be a lock to get in at 4-0 because nobody else is better than 1-3 in that region.
Well, it's 6, right? 6
Yeah,
of the
I think
7.
so.
Yeah.
I think it's 6 of the
So
7. Right.
yeah,
So I mean, I think we could probably just toss Brunswick out. It seems like they're maybe
yeah. I
not
know
gonna
they're
make
still
it
kind of in a rebuild. So
because they just came over from 8-man, right? Weren't they an 8-man last year?
maybe a couple years from 8-man. Well, yeah. So after shutting the program down with that
Right.
whole situation, then they went
That whole
8-man, and
nightmare.
I think they may have played C a couple years
Okay.
um to kind of rebuild. But
Okay. So let's go to the south here, B South, where Falmouth is back.
yep,
Reports of their demise were greatly exaggerated. I'm wearing the Falmouth shirt
yep.
that Spencer Emerson gave me. So, I mean, that was an interesting game because they had Gorham, and they were both sitting at 1-3, or 1-2 rather,
Hmm.
and in some real danger of, maybe the playoffs could be a struggle to get into. And now they beat Gorham 41-17, and they are now up to third, I think. No, they're up to second in Crabtree.
Yep.
So everything
So
is
they go to
solved.
Biddo. Actually, well, I mean, they're basically now their schedule. They're facing the teams that they probably just jumped with the win.
Mm-hmm.
Biddeford and Marshwood next, both on the road. I mean, those are two teams. Well, Biddeford's now sitting there at 1-3. Marshwood's 3-1. So that's a week 6 matchup. Then of course they host Freiburg, which is a crossover, but still,
Mm-hmm.
Freiburg's probably sitting there, at least 4-2, 5-1, going into that one, and then they
Right.
wrap up with Chevrolet. So,
That could be an
um,
interesting one against Chevrolet.
yeah. So again, so now it's a matter of okay, yeah, you get your home quarter potentially, unless you jump to 2. I mean, and some I know some coaches, it's either which way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the buy? Do you want to keep playing?
I
And it's
think in
all about
football,
health.
I think in football you always want the bye because of
Yeah.
health.
Yeah.
You know, like,
So
but and just there's the pure math of it too. Of well, we could theoretically lose that game,
right.
even if because you don't know with football, like your quarterback gets hurt, your quarterback has the flu, you
Yeah.
know, misses the game, and then the backup throws a pick. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it's unlike basketball where we've seen a team momentum winning a prelim. They go into the tournament against a team that's been off for a week and a half. You know,
Mm-hmm. And they're rusty.
they're rusty, no legs, can't shoot, different background. Next thing you know, they're down
Maybe they're
12 at
sick.
half, and yeah, people are sick. Exactly. So yeah, it's different. Definitely a different beast. But Westbrook at 3-1, which
Yeah,
is
there's a
a
story
little
about them in
surprising.
the Press Herald or Varsity Maine about that
Okay.
program. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, but I saw it and I
Yeah, I mean they only lost to Falmouth. So
yeah,
um, Poland next week. That's a crossover, and of course we haven't mentioned Kennebunk yet. Which
Kennebunk's looking really good.
yeah, they was it Falmouth Kennebunk in the state final last year? Is that who Falmouth beat?
Yes, I think so. I believe so.
So
And then they opened the season against each other,
yeah.
which it looked like that was a game that I thought Falmouth had won, and
Hmm.
Kennebunk came back and won and took it.
Yeah. So I mean I think at this point, let me find Kennebunk's schedule. Bunk, 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 bunk.
They have at Gorham, at Westbrook, Marshwood, and then at Biddeford. So 3 of their next 4 are on the road.
Yeah. And then the only team that is sub 500 there is what, Biddeford at 1-3. So
Biddeford
no,
and Gorham now.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
this could be a pretty interesting region.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see how the Crabtrees kind of settle out. I was just looking at a Westbrook schedule compared to a Marshwood schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I think eventually, though they are tied in the weekly and then the full season Crabtree, so maybe that theory goes out the window.
Marshwood has Noble, Falmouth, Kennebunk, and Sanford.
Okay,
that's not a fun last 4 games.
No. So I don't know. I mean, and that's a line between 2 and 3, and a bye. So
right,
I believe, unless all 7 make it, which
no, I think just 6 make it.
No. Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you're gonna ask the same question, I think it seems at this point a Cony, Kennebunk collision course right now, unless Freiburg goes into Augusta and changes that Friday night.
I think similar to your Bonny Eagle thinking, I would stick with Falmouth because even though Kennebunk beat them in the regular season, that game could have gone either way. And I think, it's tough to beat a team twice, and they're the defending champs for a reason.
Yep.
And if I were going to say anything differently, they would come take this shirt away. So
that's true.
We can't have that.
No, but is it dry fit?
It's not. I have 2 actually. The other one's dry fit.
Okay. Well, give away the cotton one. That might as well just not exist. I mean,
it's different. See, the thing is, it's when they rebranded. So the cotton one's the new branding.
Gotcha.
And the dry fit one is the old branding. They weren't before they were the Navigators. What were they? The
Yachtsman.
The Yachtsman. Yeah, it's a Yachtsman shirt. Okay. So there's that. And the goal, as we all know, is not to have less swag from doing podcasts, but to get more swag.
Well, if you're talking swag, we did our Old Town Music merch store, the whole 4 through 12. Okay. So we're picking product, and there's one product on there that I looked at going through the catalogs with our vendor through White's. And we looked at each other and looked down at the catalog and looked at each other again. And we both were like, I'll go half. And we had someone specifically in mind. And I hope it comes in this week before this is Spirit Week at Old Town High School. And I really hope it comes in and I'm able to give him his present by the end of the week, because it might be the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen.
Nice. Well, you'll have to take a picture.
I will. Oh, trust me. And Principal Gordon will be very quick to share this because he's in on it too. So
okay.
The person knows who he is.
Okay.
He just doesn't know what it is.
Is it your quarterback?
No, it is not Ethan Clausen. Okay, and he did want to. He was upset about that. I think it was last week. He called me 5'6". I'm like, well, that's not right. You're 5'7". So,
I was at the Madomic Levitt game, and one of the Madomic players, as he ran off, I didn't see who it was. He's like, "Love the podcast." It's like coming off the field for 3rd down.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks, dude.
Well, I mean, that's a nice little segue into C.
Okay, let's segue into C. Levitt looks really good.
Yeah.
That's my segue into C. They, I'll put the clip in the beginning in the preview, but their only thing they did wrong in that game was Madomic punted at the end of the first half, and the punt goes to like the 1 or something, and there's 2.4 seconds left, and so Levitt I talked to Hathaway about it afterwards. He's like, well, it was a little too close to take a knee and might get a safety. So they threw it deep, and Madomic picked it off and almost ran it in. And it's a great play. But it was really the only thing they did wrong that whole game. They looked really, really good. And Madomic had Jaden Ruiz back from the hand injury, and it didn't matter. They 50-6.
Wow.
which led my kid in the car afterwards to ask if the other team had a superpower.
No, they just have 70 kids out for football.
Yeah, I texted that to Hathaway, and he goes, tell him the superpower is hard work."
Yeah,
To which my kid, when I relayed that, gave me a
yeah,
teenager, "Are you kidding me with this nonsense?" stare,
yeah.
but at 8
Oh
years
well.
old.
Yeah. So I was at Maine football tailgate yesterday, and I met Ryan Snell for the
Oh,
first time.
cool.
So, and I didn't know what happened last time. It's like, who'd you have last night? It's like, we had Levitt. I'm like, oh, well, how'd that go? And it's like,
Sorry.
it's Levitt.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, no, it's
yeah,
nice to meet him. Honestly, he's built that literally grassroots up from
yeah,
the beginning.
yeah.
So, it's what 10 years old, 10, 12 years old as a varsity program. It's not
The win against Hamden was the 50th win in program history.
okay.
So it's not.
Yeah.
It might be 10 years. This might be the 10th year. Maybe that would check out something like that.
No, but
And
it was finally nice, to, and I was just complimenting him. I was like, well, okay, well, sorry about losing to Levitt, but I'm just like, congrats on building what you've built. And then of course, we start talking Class C and just the juggernaut it is, the way it's structured
it's
this year.
ridiculous.
I love it. I
It's
love it.
been everyone I've talked to, they all go, "That Class C, man, huh?
Yeah,
That looks hard."
yeah, yeah. So look at Old Town's schedule to start. Okay, they
Mm-hmm.
go to Madomic, they host Gardner. Okay, then they go to FA,
Yeah,
and I'm just like, whammo.
yeah,
So and they had their get right game, Friday with MCI. Um, that talk about your must win week 4 type thing.
right.
But yes, and then I know Gardner went up to Brewer. They kind of took care of business there. Obviously, they're the favorite. You would have to say at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing against Levitt. Now the question is, do they play?
I think the favorites. I think it's either Gardner or Herman. Herman's been
Okay,
really impressive. They're also
Herman was
unbeaten, and Greeley.
yeah.
Sorry, Greeley too. Greeley's undefeated. So you
Wow.
got three undefeated teams: Gardner, Herman, and Greeley. Then you've got Levitt and Foxcroft at 3-1. Then you've got
This
Wells,
is
Nokomis,
ridiculous.
Brewer, and Madomic at 2-2, and then you got Old Town sitting at 1-3 in the final
Okay,
playoff spot.
Gardner 4-0. They
Yeah,
finished the year. Madomic at Levitt. Foxcroft at Cony.
that's just mean.
That is mean. Unreal. And I think what did they have was it an overtime win over Wells?
The
Was
Wells
that?
win was in overtime. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. I went to that. That was a
So
great game.
man.
Yeah, so they got their
Yeah.
easy game. Well, they got Oceanside on opening night, and that's really been their only easy game. Oh, they had Old
Yeah.
Town, I guess. But yeah, like
Yeah,
just
and Old Town's coming up. Old Town's coming up from D. It's still,
mm-hmm,
new first year coach with David Gross. That
mm-hmm.
sort of thing.
A
Um,
5'7" quarterback.
but the lateral quickness, he does so many things well.
He's very
You know,
fast. Yeah, if he gets out in space, he's a real problem.
he's of course he plays point guard too.
Sure.
He's a center fielder as well, and that's where you really see his athleticism.
Hmm.
He's playing center field. So, um, but yeah, and Old Town has Hamden this week for homecoming, which
Which
unfortunately
would
for
not
my sake,
normally right, but
for my
normally
sake,
that's
it's been
not the
home
team you
games
want on
for
homecoming.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
but this
Hamden
year,
0-4. So and Hamden, talking with whether actually Coach Snell and other people, with Class C, Hamden, they still like to throw the ball.
mm-hmm,
Um, don't have a lot of size up front. I think
yeah,
that kind of extends to the school in general. Not a lot of size, to fill out a line. So tough to throw the ball when you don't have blockers. Herman's good.
Herman's really good. Yeah, someone described
Yeah,
Hamden to me as like they have a good quarterback, but the O-line doesn't give them any time, and
Right.
the skill players struggle a lot. And I was like, so it's last year's Patriots? Like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see on Friday. I mean, just doing the math because
Mm-hmm.
10 will make it in C.
10 will make it in
Um,
C.
10.
We
So
might
the
already
top.
know who those 10 are.
Yeah. Well, I think honestly, it's gonna be the 9 you see there, and then probably the winner of Old Town Hamden Friday. To be
Yeah,
honest with you.
maybe. Yeah. Or unless.
So.
So here's a question. York, which
Mm-hmm.
had a terrible start to their year,
Yeah.
they got a little frisky here. They almost beat Foxcroft. They lost 26-20. So are
Um.
they? Am I missing I'm missing one of their games too. Jeez, what am I doing? Get it together. Okay.
So
I bet
down
that's a New
down
Hampshire
at
game.
York, or York or wherever York is playing this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Right.
Hmm.
Right, because they're playing in New Hampshire, right? Because of a new field or something.
Yeah, I think they're redoing their field. It
Doing
must be.
construction.
Hmm.
Yeah, they've got Brewer, Madomic, and Wells, and then I think a New Hampshire team.
Okay.
So that's the one where I'm like, maybe they could get bump up there into the 10 spot.
Right. I mean, yeah, you get a little frisky, but you have a Foxcroft team that probably traveled 3.5 hours on a
Yeah, and they played
bus
it in New Hampshire.
on
I
a
do know
on a
that.
Saturday.
It was
So
Foxcroft's first game in New Hampshire.
okay. Yep. Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, why else would
So was there a
a
game
long way?
story here? That is a long way. It's like when Old Orchard was it Old Orchard went up to Stearns?
Yeah,
Was it last
yeah.
week? Wow.
That's a bus ride. That's where you got
Well,
to like get out midway.
Wells comes up to Old Town week 8.
Wow,
Yep.
that's
seven
a hike.
o'clock. 7
That's
o'clock. Yep.
jeez. That's a
Mhm.
that could be a long ride home if you lose.
Yeah, it could be. I'm thinking. Um. Oh man, that's going to be a disaster for them getting up. There's hockey that night for homecoming. That's homecoming weekend at Maine.
Oh,
Yeah, so get there at like 4 if you want to get across a bridge.
gotcha.
Um.
Yeah,
Yep. So.
and Wells is like 2-2, but their point differential is crazy. It's 118-76, but 2-2.
Wow. Hold on, let me pull that up too. Okay, so 118-76, you're 2-2. So they
Mm-hmm.
must have played. Okay, so they took
Well,
care of Oceanside.
they took care of
They took care
Oceanside. That
of
helped a lot. They
what,
blew up
6-point
Nokomis.
loss at Herman and the 2-point overtime loss at
Gardner.
Gardner.
Yeah.
So again, yeah, wow.
So weirdly enough, the model has them as the highest ranked team in C.
Yep.
Which is strange.
Mm-hmm.
But they're
So
all
they
kind of
finished
clustered
out.
in there within like 2 points, 1 or 2 points of each other.
We talked Freiburg at Cony, potential game of the week. Levitt goes to Wells Friday night.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they go. So Wells has Levitt at home. Then they go to Greeley, which we haven't talked about yet, and then finish out hosting York, and then going up to OT. So,
I can tell you that the game of the week in the Stacks Index is Thornton Academy at Portland.
that's this week too.
That's this week.
Man, wow.
I might go to that. That might be the one I go. I don't know. There's a lot of good games on the schedule. I wrote down like 15 that looked interesting.
Yeah, we can preview that kind of in the end. Wow. So I mean, yeah. So then you have a Brewer team. Like, so it's funny. I saw.
Have you seen Brewer?
I have seen Brewer.
Okay.
I saw them play Nokomis in week 3.
Okay.
Nokomis won by two scores. One, I think it was the second Nokomis touchdown. Yeah, it would have been early third quarter. He broke 5 tackles. And I don't remember the kid's name, unfortunately. But it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just got the telestrator working for Ticket TV.
Okay.
So they're just circling everything, and it's like okay, now you give the boys toys, and we're gonna use them. So
like old
Yeah.
John Madden stuff where he's just drawing random things?
I mean, we could get there. I mean, I don't know.
He's like, I remember
I
he
don't
would be
know
like circling guys in the stands.
exactly.
Oh,
So I
this
mean, they
hot
were
dog.
doing math. They were doing math one time. I think it was that game. They're just doing math, and I'm going through the headset. And it's like, okay, next time I'm going to do long division. You know, no, but then if they want to go full Summerall and Madden,
Yeah.
working some Murder She Wrote, following 60 Minutes ad reads and stuff like that. Have at it. But yeah, I mean, so they're both 2-2.
Okay.
Brewer, of course, they lost to Gardner Friday. They go to York, this week.
Mm-hmm.
Then they finish out the season hosting Herman. They host Old Town week 7. Then they go to FA. So, the opportunity is there. You would think, an
Mm-hmm.
0-4 York team try even the long road trip, try to take care of business there,
I am really
and
curious
then
to see if York's figured something out.
yeah, and then probably that Old Town Brewer game week 7 is kind of more in that toss up
Mm-hmm.
um, situation. So
But it's
sitting
not
there,
like
they're
it's not
eighth.
even like you want to be on a certain side of the bracket because one, you don't know who's going to be the 1 seed right now, and
Well,
two, there's not any team on here that I would rather have be on their side of the bracket.
no, but at the same time, because it's 10, you have a lot of different scenarios of where you finish. You
Right.
finish 9-10, you're going on the road week that first week. Okay, 7-8, you're hosting. You get up to 6. Okay, yes, you get a bye, and then it would be what, a 3-6 game in a state. I guess a state quarter. It would be what would consider to be semifinal weekend,
Right.
but it'd be a state quarter.
So 7-10 and then 8-9 play each other
Yeah,
in the first
with
round and then
prelim. Yeah,
everybody else gets a bye. So
yeah,
you want to be out of that 7 to 10 range,
right.
which right now is Nokomis, Brewer, Madomic, Old Town.
Yeah. So I mean, you would think probably maybe in Madomic would kind of creep up in there, but it's just a matter of like, how does a Wells do? Like
It's
who's
hard.
who?
Yeah, like who do you kick out of those top 6?
Yeah,
Is it Wells? Is
I
it
know.
Foxcroft? Is it? It's not Levitt. I don't think.
No,
It's not one of the undefeated teams.
no.
So yeah, you would think with getting Ruiz back, you would think Madomic would be the candidate to move in to the top
Mm-hmm.
6, but I just don't know who falls out. Is it
Well,
there are only
so
two?
now,
Like, is it? I don't know.
well, let's look at because Crabtrees are, it's win your games, you control more anything, and who
Mm-hmm.
you beat isn't as valuable
Right.
as it would be in the heels. We haven't talked about Greeley yet. Okay,
Okay.
moving back to 11 man.
They looked
Okay,
really good against
four
Levitt.
0. The 2-point win over Levitt. I don't know if was that overtime too.
That was no, that was not overtime.
No. Okay. Um, either way, so they go to Foxcroft Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they go Foxcroft and then they host Wells week 7 or week 6.
And
Finish
then they
up with
have
Hamden and Oceanside.
yeah.
So this is the crux of you win one of these two, you're probably no disrespect to Hamden and York, you're probably finishing 7-1 at
Mm-hmm.
least. That's probably I would say a lock for top 4
Oh yeah, I would
at the
think
bare
7-1 would
minimum.
get you top 4.
Yeah. So, and it's crazy because you look at what
Because
even like
Gardner's
5
got a
years ago.
got Gardner's schedule. I
Gardner's a monster. That's
yeah
just a monster. That's just mean. Like, why would
yeah.
we do that to kids? I'm kidding, but
And
that's
then Levitt, I don't. Levitt has Gardner and Herman left, and Wells.
right.
Herman has They have Levitt and Brewer left,
Mm-hmm.
and Nokomis. Yeah, I don't
But
know.
you're looking at Gardner's the heaviest schedule of the rest.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
three of the remaining top 6, and then Cony. So yeah, I mean Herman. They have Scal Vegas, then they go to Brewer, Nokomis, and then they finish out at Levitt.
Gardner has
So
the 5th hardest schedule in the state remaining.
remaining,
Yeah.
what is it overall? Do you have a number?
Let me find it. Where'd they go? It
And I
was
would
so far it was 67th for their games played
out of
out of
79.
79.
That
Yeah.
includes that mix in 8 and 11, right?
Right.
That
Yes.
intermix. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
I
assuming
don't know. I mean,
South Portland has the hardest remaining schedule.
Yep. And that checks out.
No, sorry, they have the hardest. They've played the hardest schedule, but it'll be someone in A who has the hardest remaining schedule.
Right. Probably. I'd probably be Bonny Eagle or TA. Well,
It
TA has Portland and Bonny Eagle left, so it might be TA. So
they're 3rd, so it's someone like that.
okay.
Oh, I
Yeah,
hear my kid
I mean,
breaking in. It's Bonny Eagle. Bonny Eagle has the
Yep.
hardest remaining schedule.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like. So you talk about the merits of one region, okay?
Mhm. This is
And
fun,
basically and they didn't want to go to the South.
right?
You know, Madonic and Oceanside, they didn't want to go to the South. Okay, great.
Mhm.
And then you don't really have a true, if you did have a true geographic split, that's where they would have fallen.
Right.
But you look at the statewide region and the geographic coverage area. I mean, you're going York up to Foxcroft, to Old Town. Class A is a
Mhm.
smaller footprint. Class B is a smaller footprint.
Yeah.
Is there merit to do this in every,
I
you
mean,
know?
it's so far it's pretty fun. My kid's here. What's up, Reese?
Hi.
He's saying hi. You want to come say
Hi,
hi?
Reese. Hey, buddy.
He can't hear you, but he's saying hi.
That's okay.
Hi.
Do you want a
Hi.
headphone?
Yeah. Ow.
So I heard. So what do you think about Levitt's superpower of working hard? Do you believe him? Is working hard a superpower?
Not really. No.
Yeah. No.
I said no.
You'll learn.
You said
It
no.
is.
It
It
is.
is.
It ain't.
It is. Yeah.
It ain't.
Yeah. Okay. We'll agree to disagree right now.
You could
But-
physically do that even if you don't have a superpower.
Hey. Mental fortitude, right? That's what you need. Okay. Strong
think we'll go
mind,
back.
strong body. So
All right, go to bed.
being tough working hard is a superpower.
It is a superpower working hard.
Yeah.
Taking a quick break from the show to tell you why you should subscribe to mainbasketballrankings.com. Yes, it's an ad for the website on the podcast, hosted on the website, and you'll get over it. So at mainbasketballrankings.com for $6 a month, you get rankings that are very good and they hate your team without question, but it's all sorts of fun information about your team, about their strength of schedule, how they're scoring offense ranks, their scoring defense, lots of things like that. You also get heel points, which you can read, because have you seen the other options for heel points? It's a disaster. You can read these, you can see that your schedule coming up, be like, oh, that team's not worth a lot of points. Oh, this team's worth a lot of points. This is the game we have to win. You also get a spread for every game on the schedule. Hey, we're only favored by 2.5 points tonight. That's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? We're 1.5 point underdogs. That's crazy. And then maybe you're wondering why your coach is coaching so hard, down 15 in the fourth quarter. Well, it's because he's a 13.5 point underdog, and it doesn't matter, but he wants to beat the spread because we always want to beat the spread no matter who we are. So that's mainbasketballrankings.com. $6 a month, or for the free version, you can get a daily newsletter during the season. Now, back to the show.
Carrie Underwood has sung. That means the weekend's over. Go to bed.
Okay, yeah. The week is over, Reese. Go to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. So he knows I'm doing this. I tell like before I started, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be recording a podcast. If you need anything, go find somebody else. And he's like,
Right.
okay. And then no.
Or don't need
Or
anything.
don't need anything. Yeah. Just
Yep.
go out play in the street. And he let the dog in here too. Oh boy. Anyway,
Awesome.
so to your point, should they all go single class, single region, or
the
statewide? Should they
schedules
all
are
go
that way
statewide?
already.
Yeah, I think
there's merit.
this looks like a really cool bracket to me.
I mean, how often? And it goes back 40 years. I mean, let's look back in the 80s when they restructured things by enrollment and they stopped doing classes by league. So they made finally, after all those years, the SMAA and the PTC were finally designated Class A conferences. And the only team to win a state title over that course of time, I think it was Bangor once and Lawrence once. It was the West the rest of the time. Okay.
Right.
So that Western Maine final people thought was the state final. And it extends to that, even in a 4-class system, there was always the idea that the South was always stronger. If you want the two best teams playing and you want better games leading up to that point, maybe it is the model. Okay.
Yeah.
But I also get, tradition involved and, hey, schools do want to play for a regional title, which gives them a chance to play in said state game. But, I think Class C is working right now.
It looks like it's working. And I
You
just
look
wonder
at,
how much
I mean,
of
think
it
of
is
it
just that it's just that the class is loaded.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. So
Yeah,
I mean,
wonder what this. I wonder what it
would you
look like in
see?
A.
Would you see this parity in a Class A? Probably not.
No, because you just have
You
you have
look
the
at
3 teams at the top.
yeah, but you look at that second. Well, it's weird now. So like, I guess like a 3-6 game, a quarterfinal, which would be a regional semi equivalent. I mean, and maybe we are. Maybe I'm talking about it now. We are overstating it because we get great 2 versus 3 regional semis all the time. And I mean, is a 3-6 that different? No. Is a
Not
4-5
really, no.
that different? No. I
Not
mean,
really.
but typically, I mean, how often does a 1 seed always advance to a regional final? And it's usually
In football, right?
In football,
I would think
yeah.
pretty
We could
regularly.
that could be a project going into the playoffs. So, but it's definitely kind of a case studies type thing.
Yeah,
But
I'm bringing this up.
it's
I'm bringing up
competitive.
Class A real quick here.
Yep.
So if you just went by Crabtree, it would be Portland, then Bonny Eagle, then TA, Noble, then Oxford Hills, Bangor, and then what is that? Deering, Scarborough.
And they would go. They only have 8 anyway.
Then Wyndham, Sopo.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. So your 3-6 would be Bangor, TA. Noble, Oxford Hills would be your 4-5.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be pretty good.
Yeah. So, who's to say? I mean, but A's also kind of made itself a 3-team race right now.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's hard to argue that Noble there isn't a big drop from Thornton Academy to Noble.
Well, I mean, the big drop, compared to C, the bigger drop is like 6 to 7, like a Wells to Nokomis. And I mean, you could probably still make a case that Madomic probably is more like to the top 6 than the next 4.
I would if you were to put a gun to my head, I would say you've got 7 teams playing for 6 spots.
Yep.
And the 6 that are there now in Madomic. And I wonder how much Madomic's going to kick themselves for losing to Freeport. because and then without Ruiz, that looks like that was a game they could have won, and I wonder if they're going to need that one when it's all said and done to avoid a bye or to get a bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you have a Nokomis team that, Oceanside, Old Town, the next two. Then they finish out with Herman and Madomic. So, hey, it might be a situation where a Nokomis Madomic game plays out to be,
determines who gets it,
who could get a 6.
and then
Depending
we'll all be on the
obviously
sidelines trying to figure out the crab trees.
Yep. So.
All right, you want to make a prediction for C?
And it will be because it's Saturday. It's at Nokomis, so it'd be a Saturday. So that pretty much will settle everything.
Okay.
When that's all done.
You want to make a Class C prediction?
Man, I mean, you look at Gardner's schedule and you're like, you try to be a little more cautious. Let me look at Herman, just quickly if it refreshes.
I feel like Herman is the team people aren't talking about that they should be.
Herman beat Hamden 35-0 on, Friday. Probably the impressive win is going up to FA Week 1. 26-6. And they beat Wells. I mean,
and they beat Wells. Wells and FA back to back.
I mean, they have Skowhegan. I think Skowhegan's 1-3. I think. Don't quote me on that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, 1-3. 1-3 sitting in third in B North right now. So because there's 4 1-3 teams in B North. Then. Yeah, and then they go to Brewer, Nokomis. Those are kind of a gatekeeper games,
Mm-hmm.
You got to beat the teams that you should beat. And then, of course, the game looming large is Week 8 going to Levitt. Yep. So I think at that point, it might be a situation where they'll probably both be top 4, and you're just battling for playoff positioning within that top 4.
Yep.
An interesting. So I was thinking about this. I'm assuming the state semifinals would still be higher seed the week before state.
I think so.
Because the regional finals have been transitioning more to a neutral site.
Oh.
So I didn't know.
Wondering if they're neutral siting it.
I don't know. Because I know the B North, the PTC finals has been a neutral site the past few years, whether it was at Lewiston or I think they played at Winthrop last year, the new field there. C North and D North were always playing the regional finals at Hamden.
Right.
So I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
I haven't either.
With a statewide league, that's a good question. But and that would be interesting if you had now. Granted, look at the merits of this. Hey, you want to have a home game at the same time. Those are 2 great semis at one site. Give me that.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Like a Cony or something, or I'm just shooting. And I have no information. I'm just speculating, but that would be fun.
All right, let's move on to D. Baps looked good. They didn't cover though. I will point that out. That they were favored by 14.5. They won by 13. So, got to ding them a little bit for that. But they look really good. 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's always impressive. That's no feeder program. They're like Chevers. Absolutely no feeder program whatsoever. Okay? They, everyone's virtually coming from one of the local sending schools. So, and some of them might be playing youth football, might be with Herman or, Bangor youth football, Brewer, etc. So, to bring them all together, 4th-year quarterback in, oh man, I should remember his name.
That's got to be pretty rare to have a 4-year quarterback.
Yeah. And it was something, dang, hold on. That game was on 5 last night too. I was flipping around when I got home, and I still don't remember.
Oh, like on Channel 5?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought about going to that, and I was like, that's pretty late. That's a long drive. So I went to the Paul Thomas Anderson movie instead.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna remember his name. It was something familiar. Let me just Google it. But um, as I pull up the standings at the same time and do three things at once. So yeah,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
mean they're sitting at 4-0. I mean Winslow's 3-1 at least in the North.
Hmm.
Madison, okay,
Madison's
kind
a
of sneaky
surprise.
there. Sneaky there at 3-1. I believe the loss was to yeah, it was to Baps week 1, and then they've reeled off 3 in a row. So
Then Matt Knockhook is on there. Is there fourth? Maranacook
yeah,
fifth. MCI sixth, and then Belfast.
yeah, and MCI of course let up. I mean they've let up 195 points, and 59 of that was to Old Town on Friday. So
I think we could probably safely eliminate Belfast.
yeah, and
I
I think it is. Yeah, I would assume it's 6.
Yeah, it's
Um,
6 go, and then in the South they have 8 teams, so 2 don't get
is it
in.
all 8? Okay,
No, 2 don't
either
get
way.
in in the
Right.
South.
So yeah, I mean, thinking about it and looking at it now, probably that Bapst Winslow collision course in the regional final unless I'm assuming Winslow plays Madison or still has to play Madison. Yeah, they play week 7 up to Madison. So
Oh, that could be a good one.
yeah,
Madison finishes Dirigo, Matt Knockhook, Winslow, Belfast.
yep, 3 of the 4 at
So
home.
yeah, if they can get a split between of Dirigo and Winslow, I mean they can go 6-2.
They can go 6-2, but it's the winner of Winslow Madison who's going to get the 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then you think
um
Baps is going to run away with the 1?
um yeah, yeah, they're good. I mean, this
And
actually, I
they've already
mean,
got, like you said, they've got that win against Madison. They've got that Matt Knockhook win. They got the Winslow win. So
Winslow win. So
on the site, I calculate heels for football
yeah,
because it's interesting to me. Baps is at 47.8, and then Winslow's in second at 17.5.
hmm
To give you an idea of just how like dominant they've been.
right.
And then where do
Aiden
they?
Willett, no, Aiden Willett is the John Baptist quarterback, but John
Okay,
Baptist also has a kid named Malcolm Butler.
nice,
Yep,
nice. Do they
that's
put
what I
him at
was thinking.
corner? I hope they put him at corner.
Uh, running back. He's running back,
Yeah,
fullback. Yeah,
all
he had
right,
a 50-yard touchdown run yesterday. So, but
nice. So
yeah,
they
I mean it's
are. Baps is fifth in the state in point differential.
yeah, that's not
Behind
surprising,
Old Orchard Beach is number 1, as you might imagine.
right? Because they're scoring 98,000 points a game.
It's always fun when their scores come in.
Has
It's like
has an 8-man team hit 100 yet
I would think. I don't know.
with running clock though?
Yeah, that'd be the trick. You need the other team to
Yeah,
be scoring, but then you're not getting enough possessions
right.
because you need the turnovers, I think, to get there.
Yeah. So yeah,
Let's
I mean,
talk
you look at D North. I mean, they're in the John Baptist is in the
in the driver's seat.
driver's seat there.
And then if you go to D, it's Winthrop at 4-0. Winthrop and
hmm
18 other schools in a co-op, but we're just calling it Winthrop. Then
If
Dirigo's three
is
and
there a bus?
one.
If there's a bus, it's Winthrop.
Is the rambling school buses,
Yeah.
the magic school buses? Sorry,
Yeah.
Dirigo, Poland, both 3-1. Oak Hill and Morse and Freeport are 2-2. And Lisbon and Mountain Valley. And that might be the 2 that don't make it. Lisbon and Mountain Valley are both 0-4, and
Yeah.
do not have good point differentials, not even for 0-4. Freeport's the interesting one there because they have that Madomic win. And then, like, they're one of the teams that I can't figure out. So they've got the Madomic win. They've got a Mountain Valley win. That's no surprise. And then they've lost to Winslow. They got blown out by Winslow, and they lost at Oak Hill,
hmm
14-6 or 16-14.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know how good of a read I have on how good they are.
I'm not sure what 73 points for, 91 against. Okay, so you're looking at yeah.
It's that one game that skewed it. That Winslow game
Yeah.
that lost to them. But yeah, Winthrop looks good, 4-0. They've already got the win over Dirigo this week, 28-0 at Dirigo. So, I mean, if there was any question, those were two 3-0 teams going into it. If there was any question who had the upper hand there, it seems like it's Winthrop. And then Dirigo has Madison this week.
I'm going to go to Winthrop's schedule.
I have it right here.
Okay,
so
Morse,
they finish. Yeah, they should beat Morse.
Poland, Mount Blue. Wow. D versus B game.
That's rare.
And then Marana in a rivalry game to finish out. So, yeah, I mean, again, it seems like collision course.
Mm-hmm.
Baps Winthrop for now.
Baps Winthrop.
So,
I think that's safe.
I mean, if you have a 28-0 win over the second place team,
that's So let's go to 8-man. It's 8-man large school where there's that big void left by Greeley. Camden's looking pretty good.
Yep. They beat
Holton this week by a lot. 48-8. And they beat Mount Ararat by 10. And they have coming up, they have Cape, they have GNG, and then they have 3 straight games on the road to finish. MDI and Lake Region.
Really?
Why is that doing
Wow.
that? Yeah.
Well, because they've had 4 straight at home.
Right.
Interesting.
And then maybe the surprise team in the South is Spruce Mountain. They're 3-1.
Yep.
Coming off, who did they beat? They beat GNG this week, 58-24. So a convincing win.
This is where things get a little more unfamiliar for me.
In the South or 8-man South?
8-man for 1, South definitely for 2.
So, am I reading this correctly? This 8-man South large school. If I'm just clicking over to Andrew Hart's site, so the records you have: Lake Region's 3-1, Mount Ararat's 3-1, Spruce Mountain's 3-1, Yarmouth's 3-1, Gray Gloucester's 2-2, and then Cape is 1-3. 4 teams get in, and you have 4 teams.
State teams are a week early, right?
Yeah, you have 4 teams at 3-1, and then a team at 2-2. So that could, anything could happen there. That's insane. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch that shake out. And then, but on the North, Camden's 4-0, MDI's 2-2, and then nobody else has a winning record. So the South is just absolutely
MDI and MDI had the 28-0 loss to Mount Ararat. I think I just saw that. Yeah.
So I think it's safe to say Camden is coming out of the North, and then who they play is anyone's guess.
Well, we said that, but MDI came out of the North or whatever it was. Maybe they didn't have regions when they won a state title a couple years ago. So,
so the model has Mount Ararat as the highest ranked team in 8 South.
Okay.
And then Yarmouth, and then Spruce, and then Lake. Spruce and Lake are right next to each other, and Mount Ararat's in the top 10 actually. And for some reason, ranked higher than Camden.
Yeah, MDI. They already put. So they have Camden, but they go to Ellsworth this week. Then they, host Orono, who's a small school, but who's kind of rebounded since the Stearns loss. Then they have Camden Hills at home, and then finish out with a trip to Yarmouth. So, yeah, I mean, again, seems like cream has risen to the top already with Camden, but
yeah, I saw them. They looked really good against the second half against Mount Ararat. They were really good.
I mean, you'd think it would be Ararat.
I would lean towards Mount Ararat. I think.
Yeah.
They looked pretty. Mount Ararat looked pretty good in the first half. They were up in the first half on Camden. Then Camden came back. All right, and then bouncing over to the south
or small.
or small. Sorry, yeah, the small. It's OOB, right? Like they're ridiculous. They've already scored 200 points this year.
Mm-hmm.
In the South, they've scored 204 points to 50 allowed.
How's their strength of schedule been thus far?
Their strength of schedule is much better than last year. I know that. Because they've played a much harder schedule. They had Stearns already.
Yep, and Orno.
Their strength of schedule is 61st, and then they finish the games left are the 55th. They're first in scoring, and they are 9th in scoring defense.
Yep. So they have Sockeby this week. Then they have a Lake Region team. Like they're 3-1, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trape, who's sitting there at 1-3, but and then that Cape team. So
right, that poor Cape team
again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them
51 points a game. You're doing something right. So
yeah, I mean, they maybe lose to Lake Region, but I think other than that, 7-1 is the minimum.
Mm-hmm. The North is a little more balanced.
The North looks interesting.
Stearns is sitting there at 3-1 with Dexter. Yeah, so and they play this week. Dexter goes up to Millinocket, so
oh, okay. And they're hopefully going to win $1 million.
They could win $1 million. Yeah.
They could. They were in first place last I checked.
Yep.
Like that's just so cool.
I know it's so it's kind of funky. The COVID year, they were playing soccer on their football field. Because it was more of a controlled area. It was behind the school. Their soccer field's actually in the middle of a park.
Oh.
And you can't stop people from watching from public right away.
Sure.
So
they had to play on the football field. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think it also set up better for streaming and other stuff. So, but it was
I wonder if they're gonna win that thing because Maine is one big town.
Yeah.
And like everybody in Maine is gonna just vote for them a bunch of times, and I don't know if that's gonna happen in the other places.
There are not a lot of schools who don't have lights. Still, I know Madomic rents them for 2 games.
Yep.
But still, I mean, Winslow
they're really bad lights too.
Yeah, Winslow's an exception. They're just never going to get it. That's just not. They don't do that. It's like we play Saturdays at 1. Waterville, I think it's a little more. I know Waterville rents lights for 1 game, but that's in the middle of a neighborhood, and might be a little more difficult there. But there aren't many other schools who
don't have lights. Camden doesn't have lights.
That
they're working on a new facility, I think.
Okay.
So I think what it is they're hoping to get a new facility, and then that will have lights.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
I was joking. I was at Nokomis a couple weeks ago, or was it this week? And I said, like, so when does New Balance and Cooper just, build your new field? So have you, when's that coming?
Yeah.
I mean, like, Nokomis doesn't have lights.
I would think they'd be getting a nice new
basketball
basketball
gym. You guys have no
gym.
excuses now. I mean, and you could get it done really quickly. The roundabout in there is like 9 months ahead of schedule. You could probably, cut the check tomorrow and you have lights, freaking on Friday. So
I think that gym is pretty new, isn't it? The Nokomis gym?
The school is 6 years old now.
Okay.
Because the new soccer field's on the site of the old school. And they had issues. I don't think they put enough topsoil on it because they were getting some debris coming through, rocks coming in.
Okay.
Screws coming in. I remember a few years ago, I just started collecting rocks and just putting them in my pocket.
Okay.
And at halftime, we just set them on the table. I'm like, here you
go. Oh, I got
found a rock. Dad, I found a rock. So
yeah. So I mean, they're not going to build a new school. So maybe the lights.
No, I think Dexter was also part of that because I know the state was trying to do that pilot thing, have like a regional, give somebody like a regional high school, like a whole new VOTEC area thing, and I don't. That might have fallen apart too because they were going to go in with like Guilford and a couple other schools to do that. Okay. But because I know up in St. John Valley, I think they were the first ones, and then everything just fell apart, so they didn't get it. So that would have been Fort Kent, Madawaska. It's whatever the Valley team is up there.
That always confuses me with the other valley.
Yeah, it's St. John Valley, as opposed to Valley of Bingham.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So,
all right. Well, who do you like coming
where were
out
we here?
of 8-man South or North? Sorry.
The winner of that Stearns Dexter game. Orono is sitting there at 2-2. Let's see who they play.
It feels like a little bit of a sleeping giant. Orono at 2-2.
Yeah, I mean they replaced Jack Brewer, who through I think he had the all-time passing record in the state.
Well, I think they're the last team to beat.
And actually, hold on. Orono beat Dexter yesterday, 46-40 at Dexter. So that's Dexter's only loss.
46-40. I bet that was fun.
Yeah, and then so look at Orono, 2-2. Who are the losses to? At Old Orchard. Okay, then week 2 to Stearns.
That's a rough schedule.
Yeah. So I would probably say at this point, the winner of that Stearns Dexter game probably is in the driver's seat for 1. But the loser of that game still might slide into 3, with Orono right there. So it's Orono has a favorable schedule the rest of the way. Trape, MDI, WA, Bucksport. So you'd think they'd probably get 3 of those 4 at least. Now you're at 5-3.
And that should be enough. So top 4 get in. I think we can eliminate Mount View.
Yeah.
We could probably eliminate Booth Bay. Actually, what was
out
the
of the
Booth Bay?
South?
No, the Booth Bay beat Trape. That was their first win.
Oh.
So either Booth Bay or Trape is going to get that 4. And then congratulations, you get to play Old Orchard Beach.
Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah. Make sure you go to the arcade.
So, yeah.
Make time for beer fries.
Stuff's still open. When does stuff close up?
I think it's still open.
Well, we're in second summer now this week.
Oh,
so at least the next few days, high 70s, 80s, maybe might hit 80. It's going to cool down. Actually, the next 2 weeks look great, to be honest with you. So.
And then in the north, can Washington Academy get in there? Get that last spot?
They would have to jump Bucksport. Who have they played?
They've got a better point differential than Bucksport.
WA.
So they
go to Booth Bay.
Yep, that's a win. They go to
They
Holton.
go to Holton.
Orono and Valley. So there's 2 wins in there at least.
Yeah, and then they lost to Bucksport. So if it gets to a tiebreaker situation, there it is. Bucksport sitting there at 2-2. Wins over WA and then Trape. Lost 44-8 to Stearns on Friday. And they finish out with Valley, Dexter, go to Telstar. Oof. That's a bus ride. Then Orono.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the easy. I mean, getting east-west anywhere in this state isn't
right.
easy. But yeah, I mean, probably Stearns and the Stearns Dexter game this week. And the winner of that, you're in the driver's seat to eventually, let's be honest, face Old Orchard. So,
which doesn't look like it'll be fun.
Nope.
And Old Orchard already beat Stearns.
Okay. Yeah,
but that was close at halftime.
12-point game.
Yeah,
it was close into the fourth quarter. I think it was kind of not a garbage time touchdown, but a chew clock. Hey, we're up a score. Let's chew some clock and score like 4 minutes ago type thing. So
okay, cool. Do you have any soccer thoughts? Because you're reffing soccer.
Yeah, I have soccer thoughts, and as an official, I'm not gonna share them. I don't think
Oh,
that's necessarily appropriate.
that's probably.
Um, yeah, you know. Um, I will say, if you have not seen 8v8, it's
Hmm.
kind of fun.
Is it?
Okay. Um, yeah, it's just an open field. If as long as the field's the right size. If you shorten it about 10 yards, you get about 60 wide. That
Hmm.
that probably size field. It's not too much. You're not killing the kids running wise.
Right.
Um, and there are more goals. With an open field. Um, and if you have athletes, it's much easier to fill out a roster. I know Maine's
Sure.
the only state that does it 8. You,
That is strange. How do we end up at 8 if everybody else does
because
like
football
7
is
or
8.
9? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and yeah, I think that's pretty much the root of it. Soccer's unique, okay?
Hmm.
Because it is a global game. So anything that happens in America that is different, okay, people look down upon,
Sure.
okay? And it's like, why do we do it this way? You know who doesn't do it this way? The rest of the world, okay? Like, um, I'm not a big proponent of extra time in the regular season. I don't think there's necessary. You're playing 2 5s. Everyone's just kind of packing it in for a result.
Hmm.
Okay. You know, college got rid of regular season overtime 2 years ago, and it's only in the postseason. So,
Oh, you mean
and
overtime
it's
as opposed to like when they add time for injuries?
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean. Like extra. Hey, regulation is over. We're gonna add, extra time.
I was at an overtime
Yeah,
game the other day, and it was like this seems awfully short for
yeah, two
an
fives.
2-5. Yeah, I was like, huh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Like how much you
So
didn't have a lot of opportunities. It didn't seem like to score.
yeah, I mean, I had one yesterday. You know, so 2 goals in first 10 minutes. 1-1, and it stayed that way. So I'm just like, I
For
mean,
3
what's
more
this 2
hours.
5? Yeah. So what are we doing? So yeah, so 8v8, it's save programs. That was the intent. I know there's a lot of flexibility. If you get an influx, and an influx could be 1 or 2 kids, it could
Hmm.
push you one way or the other.
Yeah.
It's really hard. You could have, hey, we're gonna stay in Class D, and then you have 13 kids come out and 2 get hurt, and that's not exactly ideal too. So now you're playing with 11, you're playing
Hmm.
11v11. So you know it's tough to make that call at the individual schools. But ultimately, I'd rather see schools have their own team playing 8v8 than having to go with a co-op,
Yeah.
because the co-op discourages kids from ascending school to travel and play for another school. So I have a unique situation where, and I don't know if it's happened, it's always been written since they added 8v8. I do have an 8v8 versus Class D game, I think on Tuesday. And when that happens, they play 8v8. Now, they could go up to 9 or 10 by mutual agreement, but
Okay.
they'll still play the 30-minute halves. So it's a little unique, but, you know, there's only so much you can do with your schedule. We did an hour and a half on something. We didn't even talk basketball. That's
I
amazing.
know. Well, let's talk basketball. Who um what was I going to say?
Lots of changes.
A lot of changes. Do you have any idea where people teams are? Cuz I don't. I like looked at it once when I looked at it a bunch of times and then reported it and then have completely forgotten, and then every so often I go, "Wait, who's where? What's
So
happening?"
basically, it's soccer, baseball, softball, with
Mhm.
some like sliding down the bottom into the small schools in S, for example, and then
Yeah.
you know some schools who might be C in soccer, or baseball might be D in basketball and stuff like that. The biggest thing is a couple schools who are B in everything else, and they're C in basketball, and they might be C in one sport, and it is basketball,
Mhm.
and they might have won 2 state championships in basketball.
I thought that's where you were going. Yeah.
And granted, I mean their schedule is kind of accommodated with that. I mean, I think they play at least 6 Class B games. I believe it is 6 Class B games. I mean, I have actually it's literally right here. I have the Big East schedule right
Oh, you have their schedule.
right here.
I've got a big moth is what I've got. Just flew by my
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
It's great.
So I mean, it's intriguing. I mean, the leagues have kind of almost like Frankenstein the schedule back, together. I mean, what think 10 years ago what we traditionally thought A was, that is what A is now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's, it basically it's the same table as, soccer and baseball
Yeah.
and softball. So, um, and of course, and that's just Augusta and Portland, B, the sites are all basically the same, just double A just vanished. And then they're going to squeeze in the S tournament starting early.
They're gonna start a week early. Yeah. It looks like. Is
Yeah.
that official? I know it's on the schedule, but I don't know if that's a temporary schedule or not.
From what I've seen, I thought it was the state final was going to be regional final Friday, and I
Yeah.
thought they were going to go like that
Something like
Saturday
that.
right after the regular season for the quarters,
Mm-hmm.
regional semis. What would we be thinking of like prelim Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I want to say the regional finals on President's Day, and they're going to squeeze things in accordingly. But I believe those are still Bangor Augusta unless there's a conflict with the venues.
Yeah. I don't
So,
know. Or
um,
maybe that quarterfinal
or
might be at a
ferry
higher seed.
schedules. So, I mean that probably will dictate a lot of at least east south or S south. It's like
Mm-hmm.
when's the ferry run? That's when we play. I know it's I
Yeah.
know it's I know it's the middle of winter, but can we do one of those um, aircraft carrier games in Penobscot Bay, and we can play all the island schools can play outside.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. It'd be freezing, but
Yeah. Well, that'd be fine.
um,
That'll be fine.
I know. So at least with our school, it's more of a I guess traditional schedule. I know our girls' travel went down dramatically, actually. And you see,
Huh.
there's only 6 Class B schools in the PVC. Yes, but they traded trips to Holton, WA, and Foxcroft for trips to Orono, Bangor, and Brewer.
Oh, that sounds nicer.
So, yeah, a lot nicer. So, and the boys, they had reduced travel too. I mean, over the summer when, I started kind of picking around and gathering from, and mostly it's just for me to set up my band schedule.
Right.
That's pretty much the real reason why I needed it so early. But we look at I looked at Old Town, at least on the girls' side. We play 11 schools. It is the 11 schools we've played the most all time.
Oh.
So, yep.
Well, that's nice.
So, and on the boys, it's it's similar. So, we have the 3As in our area, Bangor, Brewer, Hamden. We pick up Nokomis out of the KBAC for B. We do play 4 Class C games, Orono twice, which is fine, but we did keep Caribou, which is a Class C school.
I think maybe if you win the state championship, you shouldn't drop down in class.
I mean, I'm not going to tell a school where they should be, but it's not too like the Class A cutoff is the same, the Class
Mm-hmm.
B cutoff, and yes, there's a 5th class, and I get that, but it's 400 in the other sports, and it's 450 there, so I mean it's all about optics. I mean, kids aren't moving to Caribou.
That's true.
Right now, so and they're still going to be competitive. I think I haven't seen it literally on paper. I hope both teams play Mattanockhook twice because those will be, kind of monster matchups.
Yeah.
And I would assume as such, with Lincoln being kind of north of everything else, and at least in the PVC realm. But no, I mean locally, there's more intriguing matchups, things that we haven't seen, in a while. I'm excited for Old Town Hamden, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I think the girls come up to us this year.
You're gonna make one of those shirts that's like split down the middle, and one side's Hamden. One side's...
hold on. So I'm already dealing with it this week. It's Spirit Week, okay? So it's homecoming week, and we have Hamden on Friday. So I'm already, people's like, oh, it's the Baines Bowl. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, I have a principal who's trying to convince me to wear all my Hamden gear at the pep rally Friday so I can get booed out of the gym. And I told him, like, Scott, I don't need to do that to be booed out of this building. I mean, you
Yeah.
can just talk to me and they'll just boo me. So, you know, yeah, but it's just intriguing match. Brewer plays Presque Isle twice. I mean, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have Ellsworth twice too. So good, traditional. I mean, Brewer Presque Isle is not, local, but
Right.
The history of the Big East. I mean, the Big East formed to get Presque Isle and Caribou's schedule. So I mean, that's pretty much the root of it. So no, I think it'll be good. It's a better 5-class system than it was.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just see how it is. I'm not as familiar with the stuff in the South. Especially in that
Yeah.
C and D realm, but yeah, and then in your area, I mean, I would assume probably the same mixture of schools and
I
keeping
think generally
playing
it's
Camden as much as they want to play B schools.
Mhm.
So
Why am I hearing
no,
an
I'm
echo?
excited. From me,
I'm hearing my voice echoing. I don't know where.
interesting.
That's strange.
So yeah, I mean we're halfway through the fall already. I hate to say it,
It's crazy.
but late Friday night after football, I was kind of like, are we at basketball yet? I mean, it's easier, so less chaotic. Gym's
Yeah.
warmer. So
Sure.
let's just get through this. It's
All right.
fall is busy, but it's fun.
Yep. All right. This echo's driving me crazy, so I'm gonna call it good here.
Awesome.
All right. Good
Good deal.
talking to you.
Always.
All right. Thanks again to Jay Baines for joining me. Always fun to talk to him. And now let's switch over to the movies. We're gonna talk movie corner. So I saw, because of the Robert Redford death, I rewatched All the President's Men the other day, and wow, does that thing hold up? I hadn't seen it in probably 20 years, something like that, when I first saw it. Redford's so good in it, and Dustin Hoffman's so good in it, and it plays really well now with the current events in the news, because you're just like holding out hope that these journalists are going to actually stand up for something, and that maybe that's a thing that could keep going. But if you haven't seen All the President's Men, you 100% should. It's riveting, and it's just about these two reporters just trying like hell to get it right and to get the story. And, they are always, the Nixon administration is trying to stop them, and there's all this stuff. And then I had forgotten this part where they release the story, and then one of their sources denies it in the press, and it all is about to blow up in their face, and the editor stands up for them. The editor and the publisher stands up for them, and it all works out in the end. So if you haven't seen All the President's Men, make sure you see that. And then Saturday, instead of driving up to Baps and Winslow, because that's far, I went to see One Battle After Another, the new PTA film, and holy cow, it's incredible. I'm not going to talk about it very much, because you should just go in clean. You should go in with as little information as you got, but you should definitely see this one in the theater. Sean Penn's awesome. DiCaprio's awesome. Sean Penn might win Best Supporting Actor for this thing. It might win Best Picture. Its PTA is going to win either directing or writing or adapted screenplay Oscar. It's the best film of the year, and it's not even close. And I've heard people call it the best film of the decade. I don't know if it's the best film of the decade. But it's up there. It's up there. Sean Penn gives a fantastic performance. DiCaprio gives a fantastic performance. There's a sequence on the roads, on these, they called it a river of roads, that's just incredible. So highly recommend that. Go see it in the theater, because they spent enough money on it, and you want to see that on the biggest screen possible. So there's your movies. All the President's Men. and one battle after another. Okay, this has been a production of MaineBasketballRankings.com, your source for the most comprehensive coverage of Maine high school basketball, from Ashland to York and everywhere in between. This podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts and a bunch of places you don't. If you enjoyed this, please leave a nice review because it really does help out with algorithms. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Thanks for listening.